Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Brittany and I am here to speak with you on a lot of stuff. But to start, a little bit about me. I am a massage therapist, a Reiki master, sound healer, an ordained minister. Um, I self-published a book and I recently started my own company making Reiki charged soaps and candles. And I didn't even know what I was doing, and I did it anyway. So I would like to approach the topic of life itself, everything from physical to metaphysical and everything in between. Neurodivergence, a little bit of trauma healing, because, we're all traumatized these days. Um, what else do we want to talk about? A number of things, really, but all kind of centered around wellness, spiritual connection, human connection, the before, the afterlife, all the things, literally anything and everything that has to do with the human experience, because it's everything as a package, right? So you want to be healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, all the things. And I would love to give you guys tips and insight into your own customized healing journey. I personally find Dolores Cannon, Alan Watts, and Carl Jung to be huge inspirations for my specific path of enlightenment. Bob Proctor, Brian Weiss, Michael J. Singer, they're all wonderful. And that is where I personally gather my philosophy. But as far as religion is concerned, and you don't have to agree with me, that's totally fine. But I really do vibe with Dolores Cannon and the way that she explains things, which is basically that the human experience is a school. We come, we learn, we already made agreements with certain souls that we're going to cross paths with. It's going to happen over and over throughout your lifetimes until you learn the lessons that you came here to learn. And, we don't always do a great job, but I feel like this carnation's like a really big deal for everybody because the world shifted so much and everyone speaks of the 5D universe and the new earth that we are guiding towards. And if that's a little too woo woo for you guys, just know there are plenty of books on it. And the main thing that makes me want to even explain this to you guys is that in my head, I see the common denominator, right? So between Judaism, Catholicism, Christianity, Muslim, Buddha, it all comes down to the same common denominators, right? Like the way you're supposed to act and the consequence behind it. Karma, like you're going to carry that to your next life versus some people think, you suffer in the afterlife. But Dolores says that whatever you truly believe in your heart, like you're really convinced of what's going to be, that is the experience that your soul is going to receive. And you will review and answer to whatever mistakes it is, anything you didn't realize that you maybe put on to another person, any karma that you need to account yourself for. And then you heal from any trauma that your life has experienced, maybe the way you died or something of that nature. And then when you're ready, you do it again. And you have your team looking out for you. And when your life is over and you go to the afterlife, you're out of time and space. So it's almost like no time's passing at all. And then poof, all your loved ones are right there with you. And honestly, that's a beautiful thing. If you don't think you're getting anything and it's lights out, then darkness you shall have until your soul decides to do whatever it wants to do, right? Judaism wants to wait for the coming of the Messiah, then you wait a little bit until you kind of Your soul decides what it wants to do from there. That part, that little part, not really spoken about as much. But everyone is totally open to believe whatever it is they believe. I know that belief would offend many a people, but when you think about the fact that it's a common denominator and that you do get exactly what it is you're expecting, it kind of makes sense on why everybody is so convinced that they are the ones who are correct. So that right there, I think, speaks volume, because there have been wars started on I'm right, no, I'm right, no, I had a near death experience and this is what I saw, and people saw something else. And like, but honestly, if you listen to most past life, I mean, not past life, near death experiences or any past life regressions for that matter, you do get a very similar story every time. And I feel like that is proof right there. And I know it's the closest thing you're really going to get, unless you're a medium or something. So, in essence, wouldn't you believe someone who's experienced it when their experience has aligned with so many other experiences that are completely unrelated, undiscussed? They don't know about it when they tell you what happened to them. Some people see their life flash in front of you, some people see like family members or something of that nature. And honestly, it's different for everybody. But people really should respect that other people's beliefs are just as valid, because at the end of the day, it's kind of the same thing. Yes, there's cultural differences and slight different names, but you're really all saying the same thing when you break it down for the most part. And, you know, let them rock. And I personally am always open to different viewpoints of this nature. I am very much into human connection. I love getting into these deep kind of conversations. And unfortunately, there's so many people that are just so surface level and dense, and they don't want to even think about these things. But like, I'm a Sagittarius, and I actually, my birthday is where Sagittarius meets that 13th zodiac sign nobody wants to talk about, Ophiuchus. Because, like, if you listen to what that sign stands for and what it does, I love it. And I very much do vibe with my Sagittarius self. So the fact that I cusp on both, I love it. And on top of that, my rising is a Cancer sign and my moon is a Taurus. And so I find that I have a very well-rounded chart, because most Sagittariuses, they don't vibe with a Cancer, but like my most favorite people are Cancers. There's a ton of Tauruses that I like adore. And that's another thing that, they very much like stability, while the Sagittarius likes to be reckless and crazy and scattered. And so they don't usually agree on those type of things. You kind of, battle each other a little bit. And then the Cancer also likes to just kind of be home and comfy and very emotional, where a Sag and a Taurus really aren't. So my sign is just, my chart is very against each other, which could be internal suffering, such as the fact that I am ADHD, which is kind of the same vibe, right? The push pull of like, I want to go and do everything versus like, I want to stay here and be safe. And that battle forever going back and forth internally. And it does also present in food and things like that. But when you break it down, and I asked Claude AI to break down the divination of my birthday, my numerology, like my name, all the things, every drop of blueprint that I was possibly born with. I wanted to look at it all and compare it all. And turns out that everything is kind of pointing in the same direction, which love that for me. Um, so basically, I had to spend my whole life trying to cope with the fact that my desires internally and my personality in general very much contradicts itself on a regular basis. And I've found my way to cope. because I was not diagnosed until about a year and a half ago. So I suffered all the things growing up, from being in trouble in school to my family always picking on me, my friends mentioning and like bringing attention to every quirk and weird thing about me, to the point where I love them dearly, but like between everything, it very much made me self-conscious. It has created such a mask. I literally would watch and listen for feedback and adjust, and then listen for more feedback, see who picks on me, and adjust and adjust. And I've been adjusting until I reached adulthood, and I hit massage school when I was 18. That right there, that was life changing. And those people were weird in the best way, and they embraced everyone's weirdness, and everybody was very open and kind, and it made a world of difference. But now, I'm in therapy like most people should be, and it has been brought to my attention that a lot of the things I was in trouble for, and a lot of the things that I personally felt was wrong with me, all turned out to be neurodivergence. Even my eating, because I have ARFID and binge eating disorder, and I had like, a little bit of like a tiny bit of other like anorexic type of behaviors, but we're not going to get into that. The point is that I was the kid that like wanted to eat pasta with butter and like live on pizza and mac and cheese and chicken nuggets, right? And I haven't changed. I still very much eat poorly. Caesar salads are the only reason I don't still have to order off the kids' menu when I go to a fancy restaurant, as long as they don't put anchovies or anything weird on it. And like maybe not the cheese either. But anyways, there's like five things I eat, and it is what it is. But like that really should have been a telltale sign, don't you think? I mean, it really should signal something. It was very much about sensory processing, and the fact that textures and smells, and even just the fact that it looks weird, skeeves me out. Like one time I was telling my coworker that I don't like soup, and she's like, "Why not? Like everybody likes soup." And I'm like, "It's basically salty water with things floating in it." And that skeeves me out. Like I don't even want a milkshake that has like bits of chocolate chip in it. Like there shouldn't be solid things in my liquid drink. A lot of people don't like their food touching, and the more I follow these neurodivergent threads, the more I'm like, oh, like I'm not the only one who would prefer an itty bitty spoon. Or even there was one, it was like 2 and 7, and it was like, what do these have in common? And some people wrote their numbers. I guess that's the normal people. And then the neurodivergent answer was 5, which I get it, but I thought it was the shape. Turns out I'm not the only one who thought it was the shape either. So little things like that, it's nice to know you're not alone. And well, ADHD really does present similar to at least the content creators that have been posting to things that I suffer with, that I was like, oh, like I thought I was just being ridiculous, but no, no, or at least, not just me. So embrace your weirdness, guys. And when you decide that you're going to ride that wave of motivation, like do it. Don't wait for things to be perfect. I know it's taken me a long time to post content because I was terrified that it wouldn't be perfect. But my birth chart says June 17th is when I'm supposed to put myself in the public eye, because what I want to tell everybody needs to be heard, and there are people who are looking for the information that I can provide for you and the transformation that I can guide you into. And I do offer services like everybody who is a content creator, but in general, I also do want to spread as much wellness into the world as I can, because as an accumulated energy, the better the vibe is per person, the better the vibe is as a whole, and the happier we'll all be on this earth. And the human experience really is extremely exhausting and difficult. And 34 years, I'm still so uncomfortable physically. And I mean that in the sense of like, I'm so clumsy. I am like vertically challenged in the sense that everything just goes boop, just falls, right? Like I drop everything, I'm stubbing my toe on everything. It's like I have zero spatial awareness, but it's more than just that. Like the clumsiness is, it ruins my life, okay? Like I'm the one who somehow, some way managed to get my face that had a little bit of lip gloss to touch the ceiling of the car, white material, and stain it with lipstick because we hit a speed bump. Like that type of nonsense. Like I really have no control over those kind of things. And on top of that, I do provide services as in massage and Reiki. And especially the massage, like you really can't be a human. And I know that's really not an option, but your physical body is quite inconvenient when you are trying to be relaxing because if you get a little tickle, like your hands are covered in lotion, like you can't scratch your face and you can't like sniffle because if you're getting a massage and you hear the, like you're gonna think they're rubbing their nastiness all over you, and nobody wants that, right? So you can't have to go to the bathroom halfway through a session. You can't just leave. um you can't touch your phone, which for most of you will give you an aneurysm. But for those of you who are not completely hooked to tech, it is a really nice break. But you really don't have a choice. Like, good luck having both hands on somebody and touching your phone and them not noticing. And even if you're good at it, like occasionally people can like order DoorDash or something. Like it's not easy, okay? And if you are clumsy and you drop stuff, because I drop a lot of stuff, or burn yourself on the towel warmer, what else can't you do as a service provider? Like, don't sneeze or cough. Hopefully your hair isn't stuck to your lip gloss. Like, occasionally you'll maybe like do one of these if you have an itch because you got lotion all over you, right? So you can't just scratch your face. And so little things like that, I always joke, makes the human experience so difficult. I'm like, "Ugh, having the human body is just super inconvenient. Like, you can't have like even involuntary digestive noises happening. You can't really drink water or, you know, hours go by before you can really even look in a mirror and see if you look crazy. So, I'm used to it. I'm a camel. I can not have any human needs for like 8 hours at a time if that's what it comes down to. And that is wild for a lot of people. But that is the life I chose, and I live for it every moment of every day. But we are all here in a human body, and the more healings I get, and the more I really don't like to breathe deeply, even though I am super, super experienced in breath work, and it's literally the thing that saves me. And I'm talking box breathing is my number one anxiety coping mechanism. I've never been medicated for my anxiety. I have always used box breathing to get through it. Before I learned that, I suffered greatly and would just have panic attacks endlessly for hours on end. And since I started massage school, I literally have learned every single technique that exists. I'm talking sound healing, flotation therapy, cryotherapy, massages, Reiki, other energy healings like pranic and like shamans and tarot and angel cards. And if I didn't already say sound healing, there's several different kinds of that anyway, but yoga and so many different forms of breath work. The box breathing very much is soothing and will calm you down, calm your nervous system down. But if you want a trauma release, if you're one of those people that are like, oh, I can't meditate because my brain is in the way and I'm thinking about a million things, trust me, my brain never stops. And I've made the best with that, and I've sublimated that into art for the most part, and stories and creativity. But that doesn't mean that I'm not always ruminating and my brain isn't always going. And I'm like, oh my God, they think I suck. I am so annoying. Why do you talk so much? Please, please shut up. And that, but I can't. I don't shut up and I overshare. And then I think about it later and I'm like, oh, you probably shouldn't have done that. But then every time I see someone, or it doesn't matter, it's still going to come out and there's something I can do about it. And like, sorry, not sorry. So, the back to the breath work. I am one of those. And when I tell you that holotropic, I'm probably not saying that right, holotropic breath work, it's the two-stage breath. It's like, that is intense. You get hot, you get clammy, your eyes are running. There is no thinking like, oh, am I doing this right? Oh, am I looking stupid? Like you feel it in your body to the point where like you're like I need water, but like I can't move, and like my hands are like this and they're stuck like that, and like it's intense. But when I tell you it works better than anything I've ever done, it really does release and clean out so much from your energy fields. But that's like very intense. And I am trying to ease you guys into that. So if you want to get familiar with breath work, I would recommend the box breathing, which is like in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold out for 4. And do it again. In for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold out for 4. And you could do 4 rounds of that. You could really do as much as you want. You don't technically even have to do 4, 4, 4, 4. You could also do like a 4, 6, like inhale for 4 and then exhale for 6. So you're getting more air out than you brought in. And it really does help really substantially calm you, right? Now, despite every single technique I have, I still struggle. It happens. I am so far from perfect, but you got to heal whether you're in a place that finally allows your nervous system to decompress, or if you're still in the type of thing that broke you in the first place. Because guess what? This world, it doesn't look like it's getting easier anytime soon. So we're going to have to learn to heal ourselves anyway, despite all of that. And we're going to use all of that to become stronger people, right? So, stronger souls, stronger humans in general. And, maybe help out some animals along the way because I know my kitties are like little healers and they stay with me and protect me. Like Tuna, my boy, when I sprained my ankle, he sat by my foot and he watched me and watched that ankle until I felt better. And Pepper, my little shmoo, she wakes me up at 8 a.m. every morning. Like, so I would be lost without them. And they heal me. So animals definitely are great for regulating your nervous system. I have grounding techniques. I have energy healing techniques. I have crystal recommendations, essential oil recommendations, knowledge about each chakra, what you can do to help balance each one individually, things you can do to cut ties from anybody who may have decided to latch on to your energy fields and suck you dry. There's ways to disconnect that and call your energy back to you. What I do is not witchcraft. What I do is ask the heavens above, source, God, Jesus, whoever, your angels, your guides, your higher self, your ancestors, whoever you think is divine, whoever you think is powerful, whoever you think is on your team and has your greatest and highest good in mind and as a main priority, those are the ones you call in for any and all help. I am a Reiki master teacher, so I also can certify people in Reiki. And when you are able to do Reiki, you can literally just set a room before you're even in it, right? Like you got a job interview, you can do distance Reiki and make sure that you would infuse all the lovely chakra rays and all of the symbols into maybe the seat or the room or the like every wall and floor and ceiling of the room, and just yourself and just kind of bring that calm to you, whether you think it's woo woo or not. Science proves Reiki calms you down, right? And even if it doesn't, it forces you, if you agree to the session, to finally give yourself that permission to exhale. And that's what my company is all about, is you making it a point from us as inspiration, hopefully, to stop, take that moment, agree with yourself that you're going to give yourself this moment, and you're going to take those few extra breaths, and you're going to just let yourself decompress, even if it's for 30 seconds. That's why I sell pretty soap, right? It makes your hands feel soft, even though technically FDA, not allowed to say that. So, whatever, that is my personal experience. No guarantees, blah, blah, blah. But it is very nice. It's organic, whatever. And you might just, because it feels nice, because I do it, I use it and it feels nice in my hands, so it does, it makes you want to wash your hands a little bit longer. And then it's glittery and shimmery, so it also kind of makes you want to look at it and just stay in the sink a bit longer. And with the candles, maybe sit there and watch the flame, which, by the way, is another meditation technique where you actually, it's called scrying, but you kind of space out into the fire, and maybe you see something, maybe you hear something, maybe you feel something, but you just kind of watch the flame and clear your mind and use that as the thing that you direct your attention to. You can really do anything, you can do a spot on the wall, but for me, I am a fire sign, but I love me watching some flames. They're beautiful. And also my candles, because of the mica powder, they're really shimmery. Not too much mica powder. It does not clog the wick. I have not had any issues. But I love just watching it and watching the pretty glitter and shimmer look like a little like volcano. It just makes me really happy. And that really is where I'm going to wrap it up, is that anything and everything that brings you joy, whatever it is that makes you happy, that is one of the most important things to make time for, to give yourself that space. I spent a few hours on the beach by myself with my headphones on. I didn't speak a word to anybody. I tried to write, my pen died. My headphones eventually died, and that's around the time I gave up. But I had 3 hours of just me time to decompress, and that's what I consider nature, the beach, right? Like, you got the negative ions or the positive ions and everything from the sand and the ocean and the salt, and it heals you. And the sea calls me, as Moana always says. Like, it really does. It was calling me. I went, I had a great time. I needed that. The straight up decompression was huge. And then I went home and I felt way better. And whatever it is that makes you feel better, that's key. That is very important. And for your inner child, for your sanity, for everyone around you, your only responsibility is to take care of yourself. Yes, you have kids. Yes, you got to help them survive until they are of age and whatnot. But if you don't take care of you, you will tremendously mess them up. So when I tell you, healing yourself is a priority, your kids want that for you, because if you don't, you make them crazy, you make yourself crazy. So value your you time and value any and all forms of healing, whatever calls to you, whatever seems to be the thing that you need at the moment. Listen to your body, listen to your spirit. And if you want any guidance or assistance or more tools, I will be making a ton of videos, or you can always do a call with me one on one. But for now, I really appreciate you guys watching, and I'm so excited for all the other stuff I have to share with you guys. And I hope you have an amazing night. And for all the Sagittariuses out there, this is like a big astrological time for us. So embrace it, enjoy the rest of Gemini season, and Cancer season's a coming. You don't have to hold me to it, but I'm going to try to make a daily video. If I do a weekly video, still going to be proud of myself. Consistency. No, but you have to, or else you're doomed, right? So thank you guys, and I'm going to consistently make these. Hopefully you consistently watch them and use some of the information to better your lives and the lives of the people around you. So thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening. Bye.